Today we're checking out a Jeep that I've wanted to see up close for quite some time now, and honestly it's pretty neat that we have a chance to see it. So this Jeep behind me really started the viewer rig section of the channel that Ryan thought of, and honestly it was sent to me about a year ago from Ed at Leeman Upfit, and that's currently where we're at now. This is one of their shop vehicles, and it is a fully built 392. And I say fully built, this thing is insane. It's probably got all the parts that you could throw at it to really turn it into an extreme rock crawler. Guys, why don't we start and just walk around this Jeep a little bit. I kind of wanted to check it out from front to back. The first thing you might notice on this grille is that it is a 2024 grille. This Jeep is a 2022. However, Ed went and bought all the pieces of this to actually put it together from all the dealerships he could find it at, and then had it paint matched. Looking back on it in hindsight, it was actually cheaper to just get it through distinction applied, but that was right around the same time that he was selling it, and he got one of the first Jeeps with the 2024 grille. Down to the front bumper, this is a Genrite front aluminum bumper, right Ed? Aluminum bumper, worn VR12S, some Factor 55 goodies, KC lights on each corner, and then underneath, that's really where it starts to get special. So some of the drivetrain, this Jeep has the Dana Ultimate 60 front and rear axles with lockers, PSC Hydro Assist, full steer smart steering, anti-rock off-road sway bar, TerraFlex IR long arm, backed up with Metal Cloak springs and the Metal Cloak 6-pack shocks. So really a lot underneath on the suspension, custom drive shafts, and the whole works underneath there. It is set up to handle the 470 horsepower of this Jeep and then some. So also looking at the front of it here, I really like this, and this is kind of something I might be leaning towards on my Jeep. I haven't seen these in person, but these are the Metal Cloak fender chops. So the Metal Cloak fender chops, and then it comes with the LED here in the center, which is a running light and a turn signal, and a 3/4 marker light on the side. These are actually really firm too. It doesn't really make fender feel like it's gonna flop all over the place, which Ed and I both heard stories of these fenders flying off with cheaper swaps. But yeah, really good looking front end. Let's move around to the side. One of the coolest things on this Jeep, which you do not see too often, these are 40s, so 40 by 13.5 by 17 Cooper STT Pros, a great tire, but then the Hutchinson Rock Monster dual bead locks. Hutchinson began as a military company and then kind of went over into the civilian segment. These are dual bead locks, so they are a two-piece wheel. They cinch together and have an inner ring that clamps both beads of the tire. So not just the inside, it's the inside and the outside of this tire is both clamped by the bead lock, and I believe these are still they are DOT approved. So it's like one of the only bead locks in the world that's DOT approved. They're pricey, but you get what you pay for. 8 lugs on there because it's the Ultimate 60 as well. Really cool wrap done too. This is by Underground Graphics down in Texas. So very nice wrap done on here. It's got their logo on the side. And then match that up, Genrite sliders. So got the Genrite sliders on there. Those look nice and tucked up in. So that's a good looking slider. Give you a little bit of body armor too in case you're running some gnarly trails, which they do take this Jeep on. On the inside, pretty much left alone on the seats, still the Rubicon 392 seats, but he did add the One Touch. So he added the One Touch, added the wiring and everything into there, and it's got the full setup. So that's really cool to see and know that you can just add a One Touch to these Jeeps and still get the full functionality of it. So yeah, kind of stock on the inside yet. Ed, you're probably gonna throw a cage in here at some point, huh? When you go too crazy, right? Underneath, he's got a full set of Metal Cloak skid plates. So I was looking underneath: engine, transmission, transfer case, fuel skid, exhaust skid. It's all set up underneath there, and that's all zinc coated too, so it's really gonna last. Inner fenders front and rear by Metal Cloak, so those are completely gutted out. Same wheel and tire setup on the back, but you can really see underneath too. Ryan, I know you got some shots of that long arm just coming. That's a really nice setup. You cut off all the factory brackets, get those bolted on, get a lot more articulation. Onto the back, this is some cooler things too. I haven't seen one of these on a JL yet. Well, I have online, but I haven't really seen too many in person. The Genrite swing out tire carrier. So fully swing out tire carrier, it mounts to where the factory hinges are over here, and then on its own body mount on the other side. So it takes all the weight and kind of distributes it evenly. You need a lot to hold a 40 like this, especially with the Hutchinsons on there. This is a ton of weight. You can pin this open too with this quick release. And then another thing I like, all the armors match. So he said when he built this, he wanted to go exactly what he wanted. Genrite rear bumper, carrier. But it's really cool too, because you got a lot nicer clearance on the side with these Oracle taillights. What do you think? I like these. These are really neat. Ed, does the blind spot monitoring still work? It does. So I knew when these first came out, they said there were some issues with that, but I think they worked it out, and that's cool to know. I don't know, that's a clean look, and I know distinction applied color matches these two. So, but onto the back too, same thing, Ultimate 60 in the rear, Metal Cloak skid plate on the exhaust. He said he ripped off the factory tail pipes over here and added the AFE ones, which these actually are really neat looking. Kind of gives it one outlet. See that, right? It looks different than what mine do. I like the look of that, so that might be something I have to add onto mine if I mess up the tailpipes or the exhaust tips, because they got they got destroyed apparently out on some trail. But yeah, this is a really built up Jeep. Why don't we let's add a little bit more, tell a little bit about the process of building this and kind of what his goals were. We kind of went over all the parts, but maybe see what he thinks about it. It's his Jeep overall, so.
We got this in July of 22. The day we ordered it, we started putting parts together. We put axle, suspension, we have everything mocked up in the shop while we were waiting on the Jeep to come in. And then after it came in, we took like a week and put everything on it that we already had sitting here.
So this was probably, honestly, it's probably one of the first built 392s that
I've seen, crazy. Yeah, for sure, that I've seen.
Especially in 2022. I've seen some that are kind of getting crazy now, but.
We had a 21 2-liter turbo Rubicon that we took to Moab, and there was things we could do, but there were still things we couldn't do. It just had a 2.5 inches of lift on 37s, and I wanted the freedom to be able to do whatever trail I wanted. Right. And that's really where the name came from, of freedom. It ended up being more patriotic, but freedom came from the freedom to be able to do whatever I wanted with it. And I wanted to build a Jeep that I knew I could drive out into Moab, into Colorado, and do the trails I wanted and still drive it home. This has been to Moab, it's been Colorado, it's been a couple different trips out west. Around here, we've taken it east over to Overland Expo East, but everything else has pretty much just been west. It was built for Moab, it's really what we built it for.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what too, I really like the look of this Jeep. I wanted to ask you, what gear ratio you're running underneath?
This is a 488.
488.
It is. I still wanted to be able to drive it 80 miles an hour down the interstate. Yeah. So it comfortably drives down the interstate at highway speeds without any issues.
Now I just picked up a 392. How does the power feel with the 40s? Does it kind of?
It feels like it did when it was stock. Yeah. It really does. Yeah, I don't notice any difference between the factory. This was a 373 on 35s, and it felt no different. It was actually on 33. So 33 is in a 373. It doesn't feel any different with the 488 and the 40s. The skids are beat up, they're used, the axles get touched up, they get scraped on stuff. We take it out and use it.
Any future plans, like any more parts you want to add to this one?
No, for today, this one's done.
Yeah.
Until something gets damaged, it's done.
I say that, but
for sure.
You could probably find some cool things to add.
For sure.
On today's viewer rig of the video, we're going to be checking out BJ's 99 Jeep Wrangler TJ Sport, and he even said in his post, this might be one of the few viewer rigs that you haven't had here, TJs. So we obviously have a lot of JLs and JKs that we do, but honestly, we have a soft spot for the TJ. I've owned a few of them. Ryan grew up in the back of one, and this is a very clean one, which honestly, I think he's owned for a long time. He says, below some of the mods I've done is I'm the original owner from 99. How cool is that? He's got the original window sticker. So he's got a nice set of 265, 75, 16 Mickey Thompson Baja Boss AT. Ryan's got Baja Boss AT on his. 2-inch budget boost Terraflex lift, Banks aftermarket manifold, or Banks exhaust manifold, power stop brake kit. A lot of maintenance parts on here, but it's a really nice Jeep. Rancho adjustable shocks, spice colored hardtops with carpet liner, Tuffy security box, new Sony Bluetooth stereo. I really have a soft spot for these TJs. And this is in that nice red, that deep burgundy red color, which I love too. Looks very clean, and I'm sure it's from out west because something around here wouldn't be as clean as that. BJ, thank you for submitting your TJ. We love those old Jeeps, so if you guys have a chance to submit your rig to us, be sure to hit us up through Instagram or just send us an email. This is gonna be a wrap for this video. I hope you enjoyed checking out this 2022 Rubicon 392. It's not too often you get to see one of these this built up and up close and really have a chance to talk to the owner and see everything that was installed. Once again, a huge shout out to Ed and his whole team here at Leeman Upfit. They've been so nice and great to us here. We actually just finished up building out Ryan's Jeep. If you haven't checked that video out, we swapped a set of Extreme Recon axles. You guys will love that video. It was really neat to watch the process, and it completely changed the Jeep up. So huge shout out to Ed and Leeman Upfit. And if you guys are looking to have something built, definitely give these guys a call. They're in Salem, Ohio, but come from other states and you can get your stuff worked on here. Seeing this up close, getting to check it out, it gives me a lot of ideas for my 392. Some things I didn't think of, and then obviously a lot of parts here that I'm thinking about picking up too for mine. But we'll have to wait and see. This is a good opportunity to see what viewer rigs can turn into. So if you guys want to have your rig featured on the channel, hit us up through an email or send us a message on Instagram. We always say it at the end of our viewer rig section, but we really mean it. We get so many DMs and emails, but we love showing off your rigs on our channel because honestly, you guys make our channel. So we love to give back to you. So thank you guys so much for watching. My name's Matt, and that's Ryan behind the camera. And we want you to get out there and earn yours. That one was almost perfect. That was good.